Welcome to our debut episode of Mostly Thriving podcast.
To the world, it looks like we're thriving, but in reality, we're just mostly thriving.
I mean, I feel like no one's really ever thriving. It's
No.
more like surviving.
Including us in this whole setup process.
I'll have to share on my Instagram about the process of all this, but we've been trying to record this for
Yeehaw.
I don't even know what time it is. It's 10:30. We've been trying to record this since about 8.
That is exactly what this whole thing is all about. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be an episode, and all the stuff that comes into this is just the mostly part.
The struggles, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I was just telling him before we hit record, I'm like, I don't think I want to do this right now. I'm not in a great mood. And he was like, that's literally what this podcast is about, is we want to show up however we're feeling and not be anything that we're not. You know what I mean?
Totally. Why don't you tell the people who you are? Just in case they don't.
Just in case. It is wild to think that there's people that will find this that have never seen our faces before, which is crazy. So I'm Amanda, and I started Come Stay Awhile on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I share DIY and home improvement projects, power tools, badass woman stuff, you know?
Yeah, your HBIC of Come Stay Awhile.
Yeah, but it's crazy because we'll get into this in a little bit, but 6 years ago, if you'd have told me that I would be starting a podcast that was born out of Come Stay Awhile, I just wouldn't even, I would have never dreamt of the life I have, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah. And I'm TJ. I'm Amanda's husband, and I don't do very much with Come Stay Awhile anymore, but I have my own business. I have a veterinary hospital that we started 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Which is...
We just celebrated that on Friday.
Bananas.
2-year anniversary, yeah.
My full-time thing is veterinary medicine and running a veterinary hospital. What Mostly Thriving, the podcast, is going to be is just conversations about our day-to-day life, whether it pertains to marriage, whether it pertains to mental health, our faith, parenting,
business, kind of all of it. I feel like in today's society, there's such a pressure, and I don't even really know who's putting it on anybody, but to just be perfect all the time. But nobody actually is. We wanted this to be a space where it's we can just truly speak from our heart. Sometimes it'll be lighthearted, sometimes it'll be harder topics, but just encouraging conversation in a healthy way.
And even before this episode, you were just kind of saying wow, the pressure's really on.
I really do. I feel the pressure of this first episode because I'm we have so much that we've prepped and want to talk about. We have topics and things that we want to get into, but it's have to capture people so that they want to come back. When you start something new, we know what it's about and we know what we want to share. And I felt that with Come Stay Awhile when I started it, is it's also a super vulnerable thing because on social media, I have over 3 million followers with all of my platforms, but it's just these short snippets of things. Yeah. And in today's culture, you say one wrong thing and it's you're canceled.
Yeah, I guess, my thought on all of it though is I'm just here to be me.
Well, that's what I want this to be.
We're here to be us and genuinely learn. Honestly, some of this is we're gonna do episodes where we do some research, we're gonna do some digging. We're not gonna get it right, and I'm totally okay with not being right, because if I'm not right, I'm here to learn what is right. There's a lot of right ways to do things, and we're just gonna do this the way we think is right, and that could pivot 100 times, and I totally welcome that, because when you pivot, that's when you're kind of honing in and perfecting your craft. If you don't pivot, you're just mediocre.
Well, and I feel that's what we've both done with our businesses to get them to the level that they're at, is Come Stay Awhile is 100% different than it was the day that it was born.
Not even close.
And it would have never survived if I was stagnant.
Today, I think we're going to talk about Come Stay Awhile, kind of the story of it and how we really just mostly thrived.
Yeah.
And still are. Way through that. And still are. Literally today.
I'm
we limped our way to this episode.
We did. We really did.
Propped you up in that chair.
I know.
Why don't we start with this? Why don't you give us a little synopsis on Come Stay Awhile? Where did it come from?
So I started Come Stay Awhile 6 years ago. And I mean, it was during when TJ was in vet school. So I almost feel like it makes more sense to start there. So we're not like jumping around. Does that make sense for you to go first?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty crazy. So my vet school journey is not
traditional at all.
Traditional route. I went to Oakland University for undergrad. I did 4 years there. I got a 4-year degree. In that time, I applied twice towards the end of my undergrad to get into vet school. Applied to a lot of schools. Didn't get into any. At the end.
But go back before even that.
Okay, fair enough.
Like,
my grandfather is a veterinarian. He owned a veterinary hospital, and I worked at that veterinary hospital. That was my first job, was mowing the lawn at like 11 years old. My grandma would drive me down to the clinic, and I'd mow that baby, just picking up dog poop. And then I got the big promotion. Got invited into the clinic.
Nice.
Yeah, not bad.
Stay humble.
Cleaning cages.
Stay humble, boy.
Cleaning cages. Someone's got to do it. Walking dogs. Still mowing the lawn. And then I just kind of slowly moved up through my grandfather's clinic, all the way to like what we would call an unlicensed veterinary technician, where I'm seeing appointments with the doctor, drawing blood, giving vaccines, doing everything that a technician can do except for administering like anesthetic drugs and certain kinds of injections. So that was my job there.
I feel like this is a very key piece of your story that you skip over a lot, but it's like, imagine I put myself in your shoes. It's like, okay, all I've ever known is vet med.
Right.
Like, it's all I've ever been around.
Yeah.
You literally had zero plan B. It's like, I want to be a veterinarian from when you were little. Like, I've seen those pictures that your mom has of like you in the surgery suite, like watching your grandpa, watching your uncle. Like, it's in your blood is like what they would say, you know? So it's like, we met right after you had applied for the first time, I think. So I wasn't a part of that whole journey with you. So when I met you, it was like, he's going to be a vet. Everybody said he's going to be a vet. That was all I knew.
Yeah.
And then you didn't get in.
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
Yeah, that was pretty tough because it's like your work family with like 25, 30 other employees. They're all the ones, those doctors wrote me letters of recommendations for my application to then go to them and be like, didn't get in, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you feel? Like, was it like embarrassing?
Gut punch. Just a gut punch. And, you know, to be fair, I guess they're always like, what's your plan B? You got to have a plan B. It's like, okay, well, this has been my life. How do I have a plan B? Like, plan B would be like, I have a whole different life. And so what was my plan B? It was like, I don't know. Guess I'll go get a job, you know? Like, I guess I'll go work at a corporate, like, desk job. Right. And so then I applied again, and you can only apply once a year to vet school.
I was going to say, that's a huge piece of it, because it's like, oh, I'll just apply again. But it's like, no, you have to wait a whole year.
And at the time, there was only 30 schools in the country. There's more now, but still not that many. So, like, it is a very competitive
The other thing, too, that I thought was interesting is, like, okay, at the time, so that was, 10 years ago that you're applying for this. There's 30 schools, and each school, like in the United States, each school only takes like 100 to 110 people.
Yeah.
So I'm not good at math, but that's not very many people. 3,000?
What?
Is it 3,000? Is it 3,000?
Yeah, you're doing good. Yeah. Just got some zeros to work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's not very many people. There's so many more med schools and so much more opportunity and stuff. Like, it's really difficult to get into vet school. So I'm sure people were telling you that. But then at the same time, are you like, I'm a failure? Like, I don't know that we've literally ever talked about this. Like, what did you actually feel? Was it embarrassment? Was it shame? Was it like, I should have done more? Was it you were proud of yourself for doing everything that you could and it just was what it was?
Yeah, I don't think I really felt like shameful. I was just embarrassed. I think every veterinarian and every medical professional, or really just professional in general, like, we have this innate fear of failure. And then, like, when that is your greatest fear and then it happens to you, and on top of that, you got to go and let everybody
Yeah, like, you have to go tell them.
Like, now you got to go tell them that, like, the greatest fear that I have, fear of failure, I just failed. And so that was tough.
Yeah.
So I applied twice. I will say the second time I'm not getting in, I mean, I didn't change anything.
You retook the GRE.
Yeah, I did retake that. But, like, it was still I didn't do immensely better.
Right.
Like it was just, check the box. Applied again, didn't get in. And at that point I was just done. I had met you somewhere in between all that, and you were a part of the second application process. And so I didn't get in. I do think in a headspace, I was better off going into the second time, and I'm not sure if it's just because I had you by my side. I'm
the best. But we also were in this limbo of like, there's only one in Michigan, so at Michigan State. If you were to get in at another school, like I was a year younger than you, so I was still in college.
Yeah.
It was like if he gets into vet school, you're potentially moving literally anywhere in the country. Like I'm trying to finish my degree. I was dancing for the Pistons at the time. Like there was a lot of moving pieces in that. And so I think there was more of not a relief, but almost like we can move on with life now and like close that chapter, because we were in limbo for 3 years of this like apply, wait, which was
because
like
most people don't, like there's a lot of people that do not get in that first go. So you have to close the door of it. And so we did that. I applied one more time, didn't get in, which is interesting because had I gotten in that first time, we would have never met.
I know.
None of this would have...
In our stories of how we got to this moment, literally right here.
Yeah.
God has literally made this. That's why, like, I have so much fear about, like, starting this, because it's, like, it's so vulnerable and it's so public if it fails. Like, we literally just built this whole studio. We got all the equipment. Like, we're doing all this stuff. Like, people might not listen to this episode.
They might not.
Like, they really might not. And that will... like kind of feel like failing publicly, but that's the same feeling I had when I started Come Stay a While, and look where we're at now. 5 employees, like freaking booming, changed our whole life.
Yeah.
So like, why not? Whenever I feel now, it's like I know that I can trust God's nudges of like, hey, I want you to do this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, bet. Like, this is going to be awesome.
Well, didn't get in. I started working at Chrysler. The plan B, obviously. Go work in a manufacturing facility, and I was a materials supervisor on nights. When you're 22 years old working and having like employees who are 50 years old and having to tell them like how to do things or that they're doing something wrong, and you're just walking in there like, I just want to be a veterinarian. So it was really sink or swim. So I think I'm so grateful for that job and that experience. It shaped me to who I am.
It really did. It sucked in the moment, but it made you a better leader, I think.
I'm honestly not scared of doing anything as far as like career path, challenges in life, anything, because of that 2 years when I was down there. Because, man, those people wanted to eat me alive, and they tried every day.
He had an employee hit another employee in the head with a hammer.
Straight up.
Like,
straight up.
That level of stuff.
And she didn't get fired. She came back to work. She had like 2 weeks off. Like...
She had a vacation. But anyways, so in that period, we decided, okay, well, you're moving on. We're not doing vet school.
Right.
We're going to get married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, let's get married. We're going to save up. We're going to buy a house. We'll, start a family. We were like,
just do the traditional stuff.
Like, let's do that.
And we were excited for that. Like, we were down with that. But I was working anywhere from like 65 to 85 hours a week. It was a grind.
It was horrible.
And so we got engaged. I was doing those jobs, and we were doing okay.
You were also like 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., and I was 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And so we never really saw each other. No. And like, I remember bringing like our wedding tasting food, like in a to-go box to you to taste. Like, it was a hard season. We were also like, you were making more money than we had ever dreamed of having. Like, we had only ever, like, I was dancing for the Pistons in college and you were doing the flight crew. Like, we weren't making that much money. Like, for you to actually be in like a salaried position, we were like, okay, we can like get on board with this.
Yeah. Yeah, it just felt like the money was right, so life had to be right, which is just not true in general. We were getting married, and every day on my way home from Jefferson North Assembly Plant in Detroit, I would pass my grandfather's veterinary hospital and pretty much never stop in because traffic was so bad. I would have to drive about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours home at night. And I think it was a week before our wedding the week of our wedding.
Yeah.
My grandpa called me when I was on my way home, and he said, hey, stop by Madison. That was the veterinary hospital, Madison Veterinary Hospital, on your way home. And, you know, it's my grandpa, so I'm obviously going to do that. Went up to his office. He was in there, and he said, I'll never forget this. He said, I promised myself that I would never ask you to do this.
That he would he said he would never bring it up again.
That he would never bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus has put it on my heart in his prayer life to have me apply or tell me that I should apply one more time to vet school. And so I was just like, oh man, I wasn't really wanting to hear it, to be honest, because we had moved on. I skipped an application cycle. I had a job. I was about to get married in a week. Like life was so laid out and it was so good. This was in July. You submit your application in September, right at the beginning of September. I want to go on my honeymoon and I'll pray about it with Amanda on the honeymoon and we'll think about it. I think I broke that news to you on the flight there. And so then coming home from the honeymoon, I just said, you know what? I'm going to apply. And I'm not changing anything on the application. The only thing I'm putting is that I worked at Jefferson North Assembly Plant in Detroit for 2 years. I applied to 3 schools, one in Arizona, one in Tennessee, in the middle of nowhere.
Literally BFE.
And Michigan State University. And I got into all 3 schools, which was just...
We about fell out of our chairs as we were getting the calls. I remember Arizona was the first one. And so then we knew we're for sure moving. But like Arizona, like it's hot there. Like I'm going to
Also,
die.
the prices of the schools. Michigan State.
That's true.
Michigan State was going to be, and we can just say it, Michigan State was $120,000 for 4 years. The other 2 schools were going to be more than double.
Wasn't it like 360 or something?
No, well, I think we were projecting it to be about, because we're going to have to move, we're going to get like housing and all that stuff. And so, but for sure tuition was going to be like $260,000 to $270,000. And newsflash, guys, veterinarians, when we got out of school, it's not enough. We are not rolling in the dough. So I got in, and Amanda was just this amazing wife, and just we put life on hold, and we moved to Hazlet, Michigan, just outside of East Lansing.
Well, Michigan State was the last one we found out. So we were like, okay, now we got to pick between Arizona and this place that literally has just a Cracker Barrel. Yeah. And I'm like...
Those were the 2 options for like probably a month.
Yeah, and prior to Come Stay a While, I was working in web design, interactive media, so I had like a normal corporate type job, and I'm like, I am not gonna be able to work there. Like there was hardly cell phone reception. I think I saw more cows than humans when we were in that town.
Well, they had, that was like one of their like, ooh, fun fact things.
Really?
They have more livestock than humans.
I believe it.
More livestock than humans.
They literally had a Cracker Barrel and a Walmart, and that was it.
We would have been mostly thriving.
Come Stay a While would have never been born. I think it still would have, but anyways.
You'd have been milking goats.
Anyways, so he got into Michigan State. It was the best day of my life. Even though after we were like, yay, we're so excited. And then we're like, oh, we have to go back to college.
Yeah, but I was pumped about it.
We were excited.
It was honestly one of the greatest probably
seasons of life.
4 years of my life. I made some great friends. Just some vet school guys. I met my business partner there who, like, again, you just look at God's hand in all of this. If I would have got in the first time, I would not have met Amanda. I would not have met my business partner who we now own a veterinary hospital with.
Come Stay a While wouldn't have been born.
Come Stay a While wouldn't have been born. AJ wouldn't have been born.
Literally, we owe our lives to your grandpa.
All because we just listened, and we like just what church was saying today, we showed up when we were asked to show up, and that's what we're doing with this podcast. Like I feel this pull to just show up and promote conversation about anything. Fun things, but also probably some difficult things, and just truly just talk it through.
Mm-hmm.
Not to try and be right or try and prove somebody else is wrong if we ever have guests on. It's like, I'm not having you on here. I want to genuinely learn
Mm-hmm.
and have conversation with people.
Mm-hmm.
And when we have those conversations, where was the mostly thriving in it? Because there are no success stories without lumps and bumps along the way.
For sure.
If somebody tells you they became successful without
Struggle,
a bruise along the way, they are lying.
Mm-hmm.
That's my vet school story.
It's a really cool story.
It is. I downplay it because it's you when you live it, you're just kind of like, oh, and you're gonna do the same thing. I'm sure I'm gonna have to like bring you to like realization through your Come Stay Awhile stuff. But then yeah, I worked a couple of years out of school at a general practice in Oxford, Michigan. My partner, who's now owns with me now, worked there as well. We wanted to buy a clinic. We couldn't find one to buy, so we just started one. And again, it was just like, do we know what we were doing? Sorta, but not 100%. And we definitely mostly thrived our way through that.
You did.
You just kind of fake it till you make it. And misery loves company. You're doing it with like some great people. And yeah, so, okay, fill us in. Come Stay a While. We can talk more about stuff any other time, but like for the sake of this episode.
Yeah. So I know it was in January of 2019 that I officially launched Come Stay a While. But probably in like October or so of that year before, which was that the year that you started vet school, or were we a year in?
No, I started vet school in 2016. We were a couple years in.
Okay, so we're 2 years into vet school, and I'm just like, I was working at a company called Dynamic Media. I went to school for web design, interactive media. So I did graphic design, I did web development, like HTML and CSS and all of that stuff. I love
HTML. CSS.
Computer technology. I did like Google ads and SEO and all this stuff, which is so funny now that I'm doing the job I'm doing, because every single skill that I learned and like pursued, I don't believe that it was ever for that. I truly believe that I was always meant to be in the place I'm in now, which I think is really cool to like look back on, because I know so much about social media and just like how marketing works and all of that to be successful, and it's cool.
Yeah, honestly, it's really fun to watch you do some of this stuff, because it is so not second nature for most people. And it is just, it's like you're fluent in another language.
Yeah.
And I think you can say that about anybody's craft, but when you
I was gonna say, I feel like that when I hear you talking about that stuff, I'm like, what?
Yeah. But it is. It's, again, don't downplay it. Like, it's like so. Yeah.
I was at that company for probably 5 or 6 years prior to vet school. And my boss was awesome and was very aware of the situation and like the vet school journey and all of that. And so when I told him that you got in, at the time it was, pre-COVID, no one was working from home. Like working remote was not a thing. And they were like, please don't quit. Like, we love you. I was the director of web there, so I had a pretty big role. And they were like, can we make it work? You can work from home. So I'm working from home. We're planning on buying a house. Like, all of our friends who had graduated were like starting families and doing all this stuff. And we were in this, I was like, I'm not living in an apartment. Like, we have to have a house. I want to feel like we're adulting. Like we were in that season, we had a house, and I didn't want to feel like I was going backwards, which part of it did kind of feel like that in the beginning. And for a while I felt like, this is all of like TJ's plan and I'm just like along for the ride, but like, where is like my, purpose in it all?
Yeah.
I started coaching dance at a studio up there that I loved. Like, again, it's such a season of my life that I just will cherish forever. I had so many great relationships with so many of those dancers. I coached the competitive, like, older teams, and it was just so great. But when I was working and we were in this house, I just kept thinking like, I was like almost like mad, or I had just like a bad attitude about.
Yeah, I think you had some like disdain or resentment towards me just because like we put our lives on hold for me, and our house was perfect for at the time, but it wasn't the houses we were looking at before that I got into vet school. And yeah, it would
I
put
think
anybody in a little bit
I
of a
think
rut.
I wrestled internally because it was like, I obviously want this for you so badly. Like I wouldn't take it away, but then at the same time it was like, but like where do I fit? You
Yeah.
know, it's like I didn't feel like I had that. And so I found it at the studio, but then the more I was at the house, I just kept feeling like I had almost like given up on it where I'm like, okay, we're living here. It's fine. In 4 years, when you graduate and we buy our first house, like, then I'll start my
Yeah.
life and
Yeah.
whatever. And I just felt this huge, like, weight on me of God just being like, you're not promised tomorrow. So I don't want you to waste another day, like, waiting for what's next when we need to experience, right now. And so I wrestled with that for like a while and tried to just like, okay, like maybe I should decorate a little bit and put up, wallpaper or like whatever it's going to be, make it feel like home so that I love where I live. And it just, I felt this nudge and I was following a couple influencers at the time. Influencing was so new, which is crazy now how much it's boomed over like the last,
Yeah.
6 years that I've been doing this because it is massive now. Like, billion-dollar industry. Brands are using it more
Yeah.
than they're hiring out commercials and radio ads and all that kind of stuff. Like, it is truly thriving.
Yeah.
Like, that industry is thriving.
Oh yeah, it is.
And I knew people were doing it. I followed someone named Cotton Stem and someone named the Glam Farmhouse. Those were the only two. And Arfo Farmhouse.
Dang,
I followed
shout
her
out.
too. I know.
Shout out, girls.
But I loved watching them and I was like, they're making money. Like, she's working with Walmart. Like, how freaking cool is that? And I was like, I want to do that. And then I just felt God being like, I want you to start a page that shows other people that they need to love the homes that they're in now and not wait until like what's next because life is too precious and all these things. And I just like immediately was like, no. And I was newer to my faith at that time too. Like, that's another topic that we should get into. Like, I grew up, I knew God, I believed in God, but when I met you was when I like found my own faith.
Yeah.
And so at this point it's not even a year into our marriage, or about a year, whatever
when you
it
started
was.
Come Stay, I was a couple years into. But
whatever it was, I
yeah.
was a newer Christian, and so
Yeah.
I would dismiss those thoughts of like
Yeah.
feeling like God was calling me to something. Like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. And so I wrestled with that for like a few months, and then in January I was like, you know what? Fine, if you want me to do this. And it was like I was asking for like crazy signs, like if this is really what you want, me to do, like show me a pink flamingo or like whatever it is. And then I'd literally be driving and there'd be like a billboard of a pink flamingo. Like, it was like, you can't miss the signs. And so I was like, you know what, God, I'm going to fully trust you and I'm going to give this to you. But I think people assume that I'm like very extrovert, but like when you know me, I am, but I'm pretty, maybe not anymore, but at the time I was super timid, I guess the word would, I don't know what you'd want to call it. I wasn't someone that would just like put myself out there and be like, I don't care what people think. Like, I definitely care what people think and I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah.
But
well, I think that's been a part of your whole mental health journey and stuff too.
Yeah.
I think that there's a combination of like your career, your faith, and your mental health journey have blossomed you into this more confident individual.
Yeah.
And I honestly, people who know you now probably wouldn't recognize you.
I wouldn't.
What, like 8 years ago?
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't. And I mean that for the better. Like, it's all self work and things like that. So I think that's great.
I say that because when I started Come Stay Awhile, I remember like you're posting it and like people that in your life are like the first ones who see it and they're like, oh, cool. Like, you're going to start an Instagram. Like, sweet. Like, it's embarrassing.
But I remember when you told me, I was just like, sure, whatever, go ahead. Like, I had no idea. And you
were also so busy.
I was busy. It's not that I wasn't supportive. It was just like, whatever. I was just giving you the green light to do whatever it was to fill your time because I had to study and I had to go to labs.
It was like I had a lot of time. I was, working during the day and then I was coaching a few nights a week. And so on that other time, I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to go into this. And I wasn't even doing DIY at the time. It was decor.
That Cricut, baby.
It was styling things. It was crafts. Like, it was all that kind of stuff.
You had sign parties.
I did have sign parties. Yeah. It's really cringy now to look back at my first post.
No, but it's
really
good.
cringy.
I really love it.
I remember the
love
first
that.
time I filmed in a store, I like wanted to die. Like
Yeah.
it was so embarrassing. I'm like, people can definitely hear me. And now when I watch those stories back, I'm like,
Yeah.
freaking say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
Now you and Kayla are playing like flashlight tag in Home Depot.
No, it is wild.
I
It
think
is
she's
wild.
in lumber.
Yeah, it's wild. But so then I would say that was in January. By December, I had 10,000 followers, which was crazy because at the time, Reels weren't even a thing. Like literally Instagram before Reels were a thing. It was
Yeah.
just pictures. I had a lot of traction of just people relating to me showing up authentically and
Yeah.
like being vocal about the fact that like this is kind of weird, you know, and just like real life struggles. Because at that time, too, Instagram was such a place of like the most perfectly crafted, like outfit pictures and like the most beautiful homes. It was so curated.
Dude, it was pictures only.
I know. That's what I mean.
I just remembered that.
I just said there was no reels.
I know, but I'm
you
just
listening
like,
to
I
me?
am listening, but I'm just like, that is huge.
I know.
That's crazy. You just posted.
And we
you
were in
didn't
a
even get to
rental house that
explain
wasn't
it.
even like beautiful.
You didn't even get to explain this work of art that you put on the wall. You were just like, here it is.
I know. It's great. I mean, there were stories.
I know, but like once the story's gone, the
Stories
story's
were new
gone.
at the time too.
Yeah,
but
stories were new.
anyways,
That's
so
nuts.
then my second year of it, by the end of the year, I hit 100,000 followers, which felt huge. In 2019, so then we get to the next year. You're graduating in 2020, like May-ish. We were pregnant with AJ, our son, our oldest, and we had bought a house because you were graduating and we were going to be moving back from Lansing. And so people were very invested in like the pregnancy. I was very open about just that and documenting that for people, which I think was relatable. And so then we buy our house, then COVID happens.
Yep.
So all of the things that I had scheduled and like hired out these contractors for like paint and new floors, and we had to have like something on the fireplace fixed. Like there was just like things that we were going to have people do. All of that got canceled. And we were like 2 months out from having our baby. And you're going back to work. Like veterinarians were essential at the time. And so I'm like, okay, I guess if I want this done before the baby's born, like I'm going to march my pregnant butt into Home Depot. And I bought my first table saw. And I remember asking the guy, like, I need to buy a table saw. And he was like, oh, like, who's this for? And I was like, it's for me. And he was like, are you sure you should be doing
I'm
that?
getting this baby out of
Are you
me.
sure you should be doing that right now? But I learned how to lay floors. And like, that's where my love of power tools like came. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can actually like make things. But yeah, now 6 years later, I'm like building full tree houses and
You have employees.
I have employees.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I have 5 people on my team,
Yeah.
the most incredible people. And
They are.
I'm doing things that I would have never believed that I would be able to do.
Like a podcast.
Yeah, like a podcast.
Yeah.
But I think it's so cool. And now having, 1.4 million followers on Instagram and 1.4 million followers on TikTok. And I cherish it so much. And
Yeah.
I love what I do.
And so, with now knowing both of our stories, we both have successful businesses. Now we're coming up to this new journey of like, we don't really know what this is, but at the end of the day, we're starting this podcast, Mostly Thriving, to embrace those journeys. But really what I love about it is to start a new journey together, because truthfully, I don't know that we've like started a journey like this together since vet school.
Oh, and honestly, vet school was different because like I was there to support you, but I wasn't like in it. And I feel like we probably for the last like year or year and a half, we've been dreaming about this podcast and just like we'll mention it and we're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. And then we like dismiss it. And it finally hit a point where we're like, no, like we have such different gifts of like, I'm very like dreamer and like, let's do this and like ideas and here's how we can make it happen and like all of that. But you're more of the like realist of like, how are we going to implement it? Like you're more of a planner and like financially, like just, you've got like all of that stuff. And like, you're such a good leader and such a good boss to like your staff. I've learned so much of just like how to manage a team. Like that's a hard thing to do of like manage
Yeah, I enjoy that.
a team and all of that. And so we were like, there's nothing really that, like, I help with the clinic and you help with Come Stay Awhile, but we don't have a baby business that's like ours,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So we're doing this.
So we're doing this.
We really, really embrace therapy and couples therapy. Like, even if you're not struggling, I think that you should maybe once a quarter talk to a therapist. Anyways, we started doing therapy together and we were just like, we need to talk more. Like, we just need to talk and have conversation more. This was born out of promoting conversation between the two of us.
Yeah. We're like, if it fails, at least we'll have fun.
We'll have fun.
I'm like, when I think about this, I'm like, what do I want for it? And it's like, I want to dream big and I want to think of things like that, but I also just want to embrace just like we've just sat here chatting for like a little bit together and just time that's like away from the kids, not on our phones, which I just feel like the world needs more of.
I just think overall, we just want to share our experiences again with marriage, parenting, faith, mental health. And if anything, you're just hearing and talking with two parents who are in the trenches with you, because that's how we've gotten through all of those battles and gotten to the place of success that we have right now. And we're in this with you, and we're going to share how we got through it, but it might not be perfect for you either.
Yeah. Well, and I think we didn't even mention this, but so we have a 5-year-old and we have a 2-year-old. And so I think a lot of times people will be like, how are you guys doing like all of this with 2 young kids? Like, how is that happening?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think there's this stigma, or like, I don't even know what you'd call it, where people think that they can't do all of that at the same time,
Yeah.
And it's like, there's really never the perfect time to do any of it. Like, do we really have time to be doing this podcast? Like, absolutely not.
No.
But like, if you feel something on your heart, like, God will make a way for it,
Right.
And that's just what we've seen is like,
But
I don't know.
Also, if it's not right, he'll also shut a door for you.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And so that's totally fine. So I guess at the end of the day, I like the message of this first episode is just embrace the suck. Embrace that things are not perfect all the time. It's the areas that you're only mostly thriving in.
Yeah.
Because
it's like everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Nobody's got it together.
Boat, and the areas where you're mostly thriving are the areas that great things are born out of. So join us.
I know. I'm excited. It's important to us that it's something that you can consume like quickly, where it's like on your way to work and on your way home, and like you listen to the whole episode. Like, we want you to want to hang out with us and to just chat. We would love to like engage with you guys, and if there's topics and things that you want to hear us talk more about, or if you hear us touch on something and you're like, oh, I want you to dive more into that. Like, we are so transparent and so open about everything. Like, I want to get into like my anxiety and panic attacks and like therapy and dealing with all of that stuff. Like, we can talk about Pistons and when we were both, in that NBA world, and just parenting, like marriage, things we've learned. Like, we've been married for 10 years now, and like, we definitely don't have it all figured out, but I do think that there are things that we do really well, and just to be able to talk about that stuff. So as you guys listen, we also have video. So if you would rather watch it, like, it's on YouTube, we'll be on Spotify, like all the places that you get your podcast. I'd love if you shared it. Tag us if you listen. Like, we want to hear your feedback. Yeah, I'm excited. And I'm glad that if you're here on episode 1, like, thanks for believing in us and listening and making it to the end. Like,
yeah, we'll see you at episode 100.
How cool. This was episode 100.
100.
Oh.
Episode 1.
Well, don't
numerically we start with 1.
Don't you name them like episode 100?
When you get to episode 100, you would do that.
You're just gonna put episode 1?
Yeah.
I thought you
or
like at okay. All right. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.